It was a crisp autumn morning when the world as I knew it came crashing down around me. I, Marcus Reed, a once idealistic artist living in the vibrant city of New Orleans, had built a life filled with passion and creativity alongside my wife, Lily. For 5 years we shared an art studio, a home, and a love that I thought was unbreakable. But the day I discovered her infidelity marked the beginning of an unexpected transformation, one that turned my heartbreak into a canvas of exaggerated and humorous reflections on our marriage. The revelation came like a sudden storm. I returned home early from a gallery showing, excited to share my latest work with Lily, only to find her entangled in the arms of another man. They were laughing, whispering secrets, and completely unaware of my presence. My heart sank to the pit of my stomach as I stood frozen in the doorway, clutching my portfolio of sketches. I felt like a spectator in my own life, watching the demise of everything I had held dear. After that day, I was consumed by a whirlwind of emotions: rage, sadness, confusion, and eventually an urge to channel my heartbreak into something tangible. I refused to let her betrayal define me. Instead, I took to my easel, pouring my anguish onto the canvas. The art I created was raw, exaggerated, and at times downright humorous. I painted Lily in absurd scenarios, capturing the essence of her betrayal in a way that was both biting and comical. One painting depicted her as a clown, complete with oversized shoes and a bright red nose, juggling hearts while the other man dressed in a ridiculous chicken suit cheered her on. The colors were vibrant, the strokes aggressive, and every brush of paint was a cathartic release of my pain. I turned my sorrow into a collection titled The Color of Betrayal, a series that highlighted not just my heartbreak but also the absurdity of infidelity. As I worked, I often found myself laughing at the sheer ridiculousness of the situations I was portraying. In another piece, I illustrated a dramatic scene where Lily and her lover were caught in a giant fishbowl, surrounded by confused goldfish looking in at the spectacle. The juxtaposition of their clandestine romance against the mundane lives of the fish was my way of showcasing the absurdity of their actions. I wanted to capture the surreal nature of betrayal, transforming my pain into something people could appreciate and, dare I say, enjoy. Months went by, and the series grew. Each painting told a story, a twisted fairy tale of love gone wrong, infused with vibrant colors and sharp humor. Friends and fellow artists began to take notice of my work. I organized an exhibition, an open gallery show that I titled Public Exposure. I invited everyone I knew, including Lily and her unsuspecting lover. I wanted her to face the embarrassment of her actions in a very public space, to force her to reckon with the laughter that would accompany her shame. The night of the exhibition arrived, and the atmosphere was electric. The gallery was filled with laughter, chatter, and the clinking of wine glasses. People wandered from one painting to the next, their reactions a mixture of shock and amusement. My heart raced with anticipation, knowing that soon Lily would arrive. As guests marveled at the absurdity of the paintings, I watched as a familiar silhouette entered the gallery. Lily, dressed in an elegant black dress, walked in, and the room grew quieter. The laughter that had filled the air moments before seemed to fade as eyes turned toward her. I could see her scanning the walls, her face shifting from confusion to horror as she recognized each exaggerated portrayal of her actions. I stood back, my heart pounding with a strange mix of emotions: relief, triumph, and a hint of guilt. But I quickly shook it off. I had earned this moment. I wanted her to feel the weight of her betrayal, the public scrutiny that came with it. As she approached the first painting, the one where she juggled hearts while her lover dressed as a chicken cheered her on, I could see her face turn crimson. Laughter erupted from the crowd, and I felt a wave of satisfaction wash over me. She looked around, mortified, her eyes searching for mine. But I held my ground, refusing to give her the satisfaction of my discomfort. "Marcus, what is this?" she finally called out, her voice strained and defensive. "It's art, Lily," I replied, forcing a smile. "Art that reflects the truth of your actions." "Your actions," I continued, the crowd leaning in, captivated by the unfolding drama. "You've turned our life into a farce, and now the world gets to see it." The tension in the room was palpable, and I could see her battling between embarrassment and anger. I took a step forward, standing in front of the painting. "This is your legacy now, Lily. A clown juggling hearts while the real drama unfolds beneath the surface. This is how you've chosen to live your life." As the night progressed, I found comfort in the laughter of my friends and the camaraderie of the crowd. They rallied around me, offering support and encouragement. I had turned my pain into something beautiful, something that resonated with others. It felt good to share my story, to know that I wasn't alone in my heartbreak. Lily, on the other hand, seemed to shrink with every painting she encountered. Her expressions varied from anger to embarrassment to resignation as she realized the extent of my creative revenge. I noticed her lover lingering in the background, his face a mix of shock and confusion, as if he hadn't expected to be a part of this public spectacle. I overheard snippets of conversations around me, guests commenting on the humor and depth of the artwork. One woman exclaimed, "Art should always reflect the truth, no matter how painful it is." Another man chuckled, "This is genius. I love how he turned his heartbreak into something so entertaining." With each compliment, I felt a rush of vindication. I had taken the pain that threatened to consume me and turned it into a celebration of my resilience. I watched as Lily's world unraveled, the laughter echoing around us contrasting sharply with her internal struggle. As the evening drew to a close, I decided to give a speech, a final act of defiance against the betrayal that had once held me captive. I stood before the crowd, my heart racing, and began, "Art has the power to heal, to transform, and to expose. Tonight, I've shared my story with all of you. A story of love, betrayal, and ultimately rebirth. We all face moments of darkness, but it's how we respond that truly matters." I glanced at Lily, who was now standing at the edge of the crowd, her expression unreadable. We have the choice to either wallow in our pain or use it to create something beautiful. I chose the latter. The applause that followed was thunderous, and I could see the mixed emotions etched across Lily's face. She clapped, but it was a hesitant gesture, as if she were unsure how to react. I had stripped her of the control she once held in our relationship, and I could sense the shift in power dynamics between us. As the crowd dispersed, I approached her. The air was thick with tension, and I could see the hurt behind her eyes. "Marcus," she began, her voice trembling, "you didn't have to do this." "Didn't I?" I replied, a hint of defiance lacing my words. "You made your choices, Lily. This is the result." "I know I hurt you," she said, her tone softening. "But I never meant for it to get this far." I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of our shared history. "You need to understand that your actions have consequences, and this is mine." I needed to express how I felt. "It's cathartic." "I can't believe you would do this in front of everyone," she whispered, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Maybe you should have thought about that before you chose to betray me," I replied, my heart aching but firm. "You wanted to play a game, and now the stakes have changed. You can no longer hide from the truth." As she turned to leave, I called out, "This is just the beginning, Lily. I'm reclaiming my life and my art. I'm done being the victim." With that, I watched as she walked away, her silhouette fading into the night. The laughter and chatter of the gallery echoed in my mind, a bittersweet reminder of the night's events. I had faced my demons and come out the other side, transforming my pain into something that others could not only appreciate but learn from. In the weeks that followed, my exhibition gained traction. People from all walks of life reached out, sharing their stories of heartbreak and resilience. I found solace in the connections I made, realizing that my art had become a medium for others to confront their own truths. The series The Color of Betrayal became more than just a commentary on my marriage. It became a symbol of empowerment for anyone who had faced infidelity, rejection, or heartache. I received invitations to showcase my work at various galleries, and I began to embrace my identity as an artist who turned pain into beauty. Eventually, I learned to let go of the bitterness that once consumed me. While I would never forget the hurt, I refused to let it dictate my future. My art evolved, transforming from the raw and humorous depictions of betrayal into pieces that celebrated healing, love, and new beginnings. I channeled my energy into creating work that reflected my growth, each piece a